You forget how strong he is sometimes, Claude. He is such a tough matchup. Hazonia picks off the bad pass. Hazonia drives it. Middleton finishes. And then stares and walks over to Kupo. And caught there from Mario Hazonia. Waves out in the crowd. We have a Hazonia moment here at the Garden.
Provocative moment that time. And the Kupo trying to block the shot and fade.
Hey guys.
Good evening.
Good late evening in Croatia and early evening in United States of America. This is the Shoot the Shit episode 4 with my fellow friends Sean and Phraze. How ya doing?
I'm doing fine. I thought Sean was gonna answer first because you asked Sean first.
My bad. I was reading something.
Yeah, Sean is reading. Phraze is thinking. What is Sean saying? So we're going to start without the agenda because when you mention NBA is just the agenda by saying it every week or day. So we can start with, go ahead.
I hate to interrupt you since you are the host, but I just saw this comment. The Athletic, I guess his name is Tyler Conway, just put out an article. They were asking Klay Thompson because...
I saw it. Read it.
Because Golden State and Cleveland play tonight. So from the Athletic, they were asking, Anthony Slater of the Athletic was asking Klay about if anybody remembers after the Cavs beat Golden State in the NBA Finals that Halloween, Cleveland had a Halloween party, and if anybody remembers, I think there was Steph Curry tombstone cookies. I want to say there was a couple players, Golden State players, are like their bodies are like on the ground, so when you walk in, you step over them. It was just all kinds of weird stuff, and they reminded him about that today. And Klay Thompson's response was, "That was funny. Look how that turned out. Bums. That was crazy. I forgot about that. Well, look at what pettiness gets you 1-8 in the NBA Finals."
That's what I didn't get. Like Cleveland was 8 times in the finals.
I think it's about LeBron. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's probably LeBron.
Yeah. Well, he probably 1-8 in terms of. I mean, they got that one series, but
games. Yeah. I wasn't sure.
Because the past 2 years, the one year they beat them in 5, and the next year they got swept.
Only one game. Yeah, it was 1-8. Yeah, kind of petty, but yeah, from both sides.
Yeah, but according to that, Cleveland started. And remember when they won the championship that year, when they got off the plane, LeBron had on the shirt that said Ultimate Warrior, the Ultimate Warrior. He knew what the fuck he was doing when he wore that shirt. Get off the plane, that's what you holding the trophy. Come on, he knew what he was.
Or Cleveland, they're gonna take out their anger tonight, beat them by 80.
I predict Cleveland will win at the buzzer beater.
I predict Golden State will have 100 at halftime.
Although maybe it's a back-to-back for Cleveland, so yeah, they'll lose.
It's back-to-back because they won last night against Brooklyn.
And it's a back-to-back from Golden State too, so it's gonna be interesting.
Where are they playing though?
In Cleveland, I think.
And where was Cleveland's where was their game yesterday with Brooklyn? In Brooklyn or in Cleveland?
Oh, fuck, I don't remember.
All that shit matters. And where did Golden State play Atlanta? Is Golden State on a East Coast trip?
I think Golden State.
They played in Atlanta? Okay.
It was in Atlanta, and Cleveland played Brooklyn in Brooklyn.
Oh, so they had to travel to go home. Yeah, they definitely gonna lose.
Yeah, last night, Hawks, they were chanting, Draymond hates you at Kevin Durant.
Yes, I heard I saw the video. He was shooting his free throws, and they were chanting, Draymond hates you. Draymond hates you. I love it. Good. Should have never went there. Freaking coward. Great player, but he's still a coward. I thought we did start. This is all part of it, Daniel.
Yeah, it is. I'm saying, should we start with Hoiberg too?
We already fucking started, so how do you gonna start with some other How you gonna start twice, Daniel?
Okay, Dan. Let's talk about Fred the Godson.
Yeah.
Continue with Hoiberg?
Let's continue with Hoiberg, because everything is a start first. Everything. You started everything. You start recording, you stop recording, then you start again. So,
garbage ass coach Fred Hoiberg got fired by the Bulls, and garbage ass coach Fred Hoiberg was the coach of was it the Pacers coach before?
No, this is his first NBA gig.
Or the Timberwolves, one of them.
I have a state.
Yeah, this is his first NBA gig.
Yeah.
So yeah, he played for the Timberwolves. Okay.
Yeah. He was I remember as a player, his career high was 3.2 points per game, I think. So he got fired, and I don't don't understand why he got fired, although I read something today that might be interesting. That Antonio Blakely, something like that, weird name, undrafted dude.
He's one shooter.
Yeah, he was coming off the substitution and he yelled at Hoiberg, "What the fuck, you're putting me out? Like, what the fuck am I getting out of the game?" So apparently he didn't got the players accountable.
Why the fuck you
But
taking me out of the game?
why are you taking him out again? My bad.
Daniel's from Croatia, ladies and gentlemen.
So Daniel will make grammar Nazi mistakes. The German.
Nah, I just want the people to understand what you mean. Yeah, he was being substituted and then he yelled at the coach.
So he was being yelled by a player who was undrafted, who was like basically a nobody. So that's a problem too. So let's have a recap of Hoiberg's tenure with the Bulls. Year one, unexperienced college coach takes over veteran roster of Tibbs, who was just fired. Let's say that's a poor decision by front office. Maybe not, because maybe they went in the rebuilding, but we'll see. Year two, the core.
Even Jimmy Butler talked trash about that too. He was like, he doesn't make us play defense.
Exactly.
Come on, how you
So
say
year
that about the coach?
So year two, the core becomes Rondo, Jimmy, and Wade. And the surprise of all of us, trouble. But at one point, maybe they were Rondo injury away from being upsetting the Celtics. If y'all remember that series, they were 2-0 up.
Yes.
In Boston.
He broke his hand.
So year three, Hoiberg gets the young roster, and let's say you would think it's kind of gonna fit him because he was a college coach, and they're bad as expected, but they surprised a few teams and they landed a good pick with Wendell Carter Jr. So we get into this fourth year, and supposed core of Dunn, Levine, Marksman, and Wendell didn't play any games together. I think Dunn played only one game, and then he gets fired. So I'm not saying he's a great coach, but what was he supposed to do?
Well, the comment that I read and the reason was they said that the energy was bad and not exciting. So if the energy is bad and the coach not getting the players excited, you gotta get fired. They not responding to him is what they reported. And when do you ever hear somebody say that about a coach? Like that was the reason why. That's not like good.
No, but I'm saying like he didn't have his core, young core.
The only one that I thought was out was Dunn, wasn't it? I've been watching Levine. I saw Levine do some dumb shit the other day before he got fired. They were playing somebody and it was a close game.
Bracken just came back on Saturday, and Bobby Porter's been out the past 2 months, I want to say.
Yep. Portis is maybe out for a year. Marksman just came back. Dunn played only one game. So,
okay, yeah, they were playing the Spurs, right? Okay, well, this is an example of him not having any respect as far as Hoiberg goes, because I was watching them play the Spurs, and I think they were down by 1 point. They had the last possession of the game. This was like 5 days ago, and Zach LaVine has a clear out, and Hoiberg calls a play to send a pick at the top of the 3-point line. Zach LaVine waves off the pick. It was Wendell Carter, the same dude you missed. I mean, you mentioned, my bad. So he goes back. Fred Hoiberg calls for a pick again. Wendell Carter runs like he's going to do it. Levine waves him off, and Wendell Carter shrugs his shoulders like, what the? And Zach LaVine pulls up and shoots a 3-point shot. They lose the game. The coach called the pick for you twice, and you wave him off twice, and then you miss the shot, and you lose. Like, you wave off a pick, you're supposed to go to the hole. You're not supposed to shoot a jump shot.
I mean, that sounds about right for Levine.
He cleared out left and right. Like, everybody went to the left, and everybody went to the right. He had the whole middle of the floor, and he did his little dribble between his legs and shot a 3. He didn't even try to drive. I was like, are you serious?
And he was like,
lost the game.
yes.
And I'm like, Wendell Carter shrugged those like, wait,
I mean,
maybe,
the saddest
they obviously don't respect Hoiberg based on that play, or weren't respecting him based on that play.
But I mean, saddest part, because I was kind of excited. I liked the young core of them. I felt like they could be intrigued of the Bulls. Portis, Dunn.
I like Portis and I like Maracan, but Levine? No, never, ever, no.
Bootleg Westbrook under Sam Mitchell in Minnesota.
Ever.
I think he got a lot better. I think Levine definitely got a lot better.
Ever.
Self-awareness is his problem. So the new coach is Jim Boylan. This is his first gig.
And
he was
Jabari
the coach
Parker was balling too.
Yeah, he got in the starting lineup. So he was a coach in Utah College. Maybe I remember. He has 3 NBA championships as an assistant with Houston 2 in 94, 95, and San Antonio in 2014. So we'll see how he's going to turn out. I think he's just the interim until the end of the season.
Oh, he
And
ain't.
we'll see Gar Foreman and
What's his name?
Jim Boylan.
Jim Boylan.
Oh, you did say that.
Actually said like he's planning for him to be the long-term coach. Like this ain't a real interim thing.
Well, because it was something like for a year just to see how they're gonna evaluate him. So,
They're gonna be garbage until Moragan and Portis get their legs under them.
yeah, but they need to develop them. That's the main
Hoiberg
issue.
get another job, Daniel.
No,
How
no
much
way.
you want to bet?
No
I
way.
bet you Hoiberg get another job. They're gonna be like, Phrase keeps on that racist. Yeah.
He will.
I bet he get another job.
No.
3
No
leagues.
way.
I'm thinking he goes back to college.
He goes
I
back.
think he gets a big gig in college.
He gonna
Yeah.
be a head coach. And they
No
gonna be
way.
Like, he gonna do the Pete Carroll and he gonna come back to the NBA. What?
No way. No, I think the word is out around the league. He's not respected.
If he chills out for a minute, he may get that Rockets job.
Yeah, that would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Think they gonna fire Mike?
Soon?
Maury's a panic guy. He'll do whatever.
Oh, more.
Yeah, Maury's gonna try to now get back Ariza because Ariza will probably get a buyout from the Suns like in late December, and he'll try if they don't start winning and they start struggling to get to the playoffs actually. As they stand, and they lost against Minnesota last night. Minnesota held them for 9 points in the fourth quarter, and it is troublesome.
They have been playing better. I don't
They
think.
should have kept Melo.
Is Chris Paul still out? Or did he play last night?
He played last night. He's in and out, and he's older. That's the problem with Houston. I don't know why they gave him so much money. So long, not money, more about the length of the contract. So
They're 2-5 since they released Melo.
And it was Melo.
That's say now they're gonna release who's they gonna release now? Eric Gordon. I mean, when you look, I'll never understood why they didn't trade it for Jimmy. Like they held on Eric Gordon like crazy.
That's who the Timberwolves wanted. They wanted Eric Gordon a part of the deal.
But I forgot
No, they
who
wanted
was
PJ Tucker.
and the
Whoa,
Gordon
say that again.
and Gordon
They wanted PJ Tucker, and Houston didn't want to give him up.
PJ Tucker straight up.
and
No,
Gordon
it was PJ Tucker, a draft pick, and maybe Eric Gordon. I'm not sure.
because of the
Well,
contracts.
PJ Tucker was the deal breaker for Houston. No, it was PJ Tucker and those draft picks. Remember those 4 draft picks?
Oh, they wanted 4 draft picks?
No, Houston offered 4. They didn't want 4 picks.
Yeah, they offered 4 picks with PJ Tucker, but PJ Tucker was the deal breaker.
But I think they wanted, straight up what I read, they wanted Tucker and Gordon. And they needed to give up Gordon because of the length of the contract and salary to match. Because you can't, I don't think.
He's the only one in that deal that make money, right? Compared to.
Yeah, Jim.
Nah, Houston, y'all, man, PJ Tucker and Gordon with a bye.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Now that you look at it, yeah. Then you get a big
that I
trade.
look at it. No.
I mean,
Why everybody think this dude's not good?
The crazy part is Maury always wanted a big 3 in it. He had an opportunity and he chose PJ Tucker because he felt he needed that glue guy, defensive guy.
Or maybe because they all kind of play the same position, maybe. Harden and, I mean, not really. Like, their big 3 would be kind of weird. Nah, but they still would have Capella. Nah, man, I would have made that deal.
I mean, it's
Tucker
not weird.
Plays the power forward position.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And look at, that was what I was talking to Dan about the other day. Jimmy Butler's already won like 2 games really in like buzzer beaters as being the go drive at the end of the game because Ben Simmons and Embiid, because Embiid needs somebody to give the ball to him.
Ladies and gentlemen, Phraze is from United States of America.
Exactly. That's why Phraze was able to clear the shit up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But look at Eric Gordon. He's shooting 36% on the year. Like, there's not a lot of guys on the team shooting above 40%. Chris Paul's at 42, Tucker's at 43, Harden's at 44, Ennis is at 49. I mean, most of that team is below 40. Like, it's
And they got in the trade. They got rid of Anderson. They got in PJ Ward.
Anderson don't matter. They ain't playing last year.
No, but I'm saying they got some guys for him that they don't even play them, like T.J. Warren and what's his dude name, Brandon Wright.
Well, they weren't playing. They weren't playing Ryan Anderson last year.
They didn't, but
It didn't matter.
When he played, that was when they gave up all those points against Golden State. They came back. like 2 minutes that they had to play him because he was such a liability. They put him in the pick and roll like every possession and they scored like everything.
I think you can use him against like weaker teams. Offensively, he's still a good shooter. Like just like I think the problem is the depth. And Sean, you texted me role player. Like you can't rely on just two guys. PJ Tucker can get you points. Like
PJ Tucker plays 36 minutes a game and averages 8 points.
Mm-hmm.
The liability.
And 6 of those points were from threes.
Aaron Gordon plays 33 minutes a night and shoots 36%. Like, that's why they're losing. It's not because of Melo.
Nah, give me Jimmy Butler. Buy Tucker and Gordon.
And Melo accepted the role off the bench, and they still didn't. Like, yeah, Houston, we have a problem. We have a legit problem. So we'll see how that
maybe it's what
develops,
you said, Daniel. Maybe it's D'Antoni didn't really want him, like you said.
Yeah. Maybe
because he wants an offensive guy.
And nobody's picked up Melo yet.
No.
Because he's still on the contract.
He's still on the contract.
Yeah, trade him. But no one's going to trade for him. I'm like, why do that for?
Oh, he's still under contract. Oh, they just parted ways or just said he's not with the team? What did they do?
They told him to go out and find a deal.
His contract is nothing. Got to buy it.
That just shows how.
Nobody wants him.
And it shows how Sam Presti is a genius. He got Schroeder for Melo, dude. He got Schroeder.
It's not really a genius because, I mean, Atlanta wanted Schroeder gone just as much as y'all wanted Melo gone. That would have sent him away for anything.
Yeah, but he took that.
But who's paying Melo? Who's paying Melo? Atlanta, right?
Atlanta, yeah. It was a buyout.
Yeah, they didn't want Melo. They never wanted Melo. They just wanted Schroeder gone. They wanted Schroeder gone. So they said, cool, we'll take Melo. And just let him go the next day.
Because Melo's contract was shorter than
But how is he for taking
a contract?
He has 3 years, around 60 to 80 million.
That's why they traded Teague away. They was like, Schroeder's our guy now.
And so he's not anymore, yeah.
They gave him that much?
I mean, he's 24 years old. Like,
they gave him just as much as they gave Bazemore. That was even worse.
Yeah, I think Bazemore gets more.
Bazemore got 80, if I remember.
Yeah, so yeah, Phraze. I mean, he took the opportunity. That's why he got something for dude who nobody wanted, really.
I'm gonna quit my job. I'm making the NBA comeback.
But I don't
Bazemore got $80 fucking million. Oh, I can't. Hold on.
You don't remember that?
Can't Bazemore got maybe kinda? I guess.
You don't remember?
I don't think I wanted to remember that. It was to stay, right? Because he was a free agent.
It was that year they won 60, I think, because everyone was afraid because they thought he was going to go out to Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
So they was like, yeah, just give him 80 million, he'll stay for sure, because the Golden State can't offer that.
He doesn't even start now, I don't think. He comes out.
He didn't start then.
That's a Bud money.
They had Corver starting over him and DeMar Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought the next year when DeMar Carroll was gone, he started though. I thought.
I think he did last season.
But I know he doesn't start now because I watched one of their games the other day. Wow.
At least he has a podcast with Vince Carter. That's what matters.
He got them hot though, baby. Jump.
That's all he can do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all he can do.
Got them hot.
Let me ask y'all, what do y'all think about the Western Conference standings?
Clippers, my dog Doc Rivers. Daniel, what you say about Doc Rivers now, Daniel?
Maybe it shows that he can coach.
Take that, big baby Davis. Traitor ass.
Phraze is bitter about Big Baby. I mean, it's a crazy looking Western Conference standing.
No, don't worry. Golden State is just playing with y'all.
No, I know, but it's still like some teams are surprising, like Memphis. Like what?
It's not gonna last, but I don't really think it's not gonna last. But I don't think I think everybody's surprised about Memphis, but I don't understand really why. They're healthy now. When they're healthy, they've always been good.
Naming their starting lineup, Phraze.
Gasol and Conley. When those two dudes are healthy, they've always been good.
Okay, give me a few more players from the starting lineup. Three more.
It used that Ennis dude.
Zach Randolph.
The forward.
Yeah.
Tony Allen.
Zach's been gone for a while though. Chandler. Harson. Come on, Daniel.
Throw them all Swift.
Didn't he retire?
He said so much.
Ain't Patty
Mike Miller.
Gordon,
Okay.
Gordon Garachik.
Mike Miller and
Michael Wright. Mike Bibby.
and Pondexter.
Quincy.
Tariq Abdul-Rahim.
Okay, they got your boy from San Antonio, Phrase.
And my dog Kyle.
Kyle. They got Marshawn Brooks, which is crazy.
He's back?
Yep.
Oh, never mind.
They got the son of the legend of San Antonio Spurs, Jaren Jackson Jr., who is playing very well.
He's playing good, right? He was good in the draft.
36. They got a white model who is one of the most worst contracts in the league, Chandler Parsons. They got
he balled to
Selden,
get it though.
and they got their own version of PJ Tucker, Garrett Temple.
Selden from Kansas, he's solid.
So, I mean, talent-wise, I'm looking like a
Conley and Gasol.
and Jaren Jackson. That's their kind of big three who they should look at. But I'm surprised. I didn't expect them to be this good. Although Conley and Gasol are kind of on their way out. Father Time is coming. I think Conley is like 33 and Gasol is 34.
Think they're good?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the same time Boston has. Everyone thinks Boston is in trouble.
I mean, is it in trouble, or Brad Stevens' team go into the season like out of shape?
Memphis plays like Memphis. They're great on defense, they can't score. Boston's playing like Memphis. They're playing great on defense, but they can't score.
Mm-hmm.
But when people look at Boston and say they're in trouble, but then they look at Memphis and say, oh, they're doing great this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah,
Although
and they also didn't have expectations. Everybody's expecting Boston to be one and to win the East. Nobody was thinking Grizzlies were going to be in the playoffs.
Do I think new
Still
sign
don't, because that style of play is not going to end well. That's what I'm like.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the standings now. Like, I haven't looked at them in about 3 days, and they're down to number 6 already. So it's starting to change. The Clippers have slipped down to 7, and they were like number 2 last week, right? Or first place last week, right?
No, Clippers are second now.
I meant not the Clippers, my bad. I meant to say Portland. Portland was number 1 or 2 last week.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and now they're number 7. And the Clippers, right, they're number 2, tied with Denver. Wow, OKC is number 3, Daniel.
The best defensive team in the league. We held Pistons last night for 45 points in 3 quarters. 54, my bad. So it's defense.
It's defense.
We got Schroeder, and Russ is playing off the ball, so it looked like he might be coming to his own, not grabbing other people's rebounds. So we'll see.
But the thing also about the West right now is I'm looking at Denver. They're number 1 at 16-7, all the way down to, let me see, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14th is Utah. Like, of course, they're out of the playoffs, but if they're 14. But they're only 5.5 games behind Denver, who's number 1, and they're 14. So the West is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, West is definitely great. The only team that it's not relevant
is Phoenix. Yeah.
The Suns.
Right,
so
everybody's still in it right now, except Phoenix.
I mean, Utah made the run last season. They start off slow. They from December to I don't know February. They just made a crazy run, and they had an injury with Gobert. But this year they're basically the same team, and they're struggling. And Gobert is here. So maybe it's a problem with Gobert and.
But a lot of people, including myself, thought that they overachieved last year. I didn't think they were gonna beat OKC in the playoffs just last year, and it was like they beat them easily, kind of.
No, it was 4-1.
Well, people think that they need. I was saying, a lot of people think they need another scorer because they feel like Mitchell can't do it all by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and there's a year of tape on them, and film, and all of that, so they get to study them now. And
but the issue is Ingles. In the playoffs last year, he's banging everything. This year, he's giving you 13. And Grayson Allen can't get off the bench. That's your first-round draft pick.
Got sent to D-League.
So if you're going to trade Bergson, depend on Kyle Korver to bring you some scoring. At this point, nah.
Yeah, Alex Burks he's getting wins for.
I always feel like their biggest thing they screwed up on was re-signing Derek Favors last year.
Yeah.
That's the guy they should have let go and got either a guard or another guy in the post that can get you buckets, since you can't always depend on Gobert to do that.
Well, who can you get?
have no idea.
Who can you get if you're Utah?
At this point, nobody.
I mean, at all, like
Who
in
the
free
hell wants to
agency.
play there, right?
So it's got to be trade. It's got to be trade.
Or draft.
You could have possibly tried to convince somebody like, hey, you want to play with Mitchell, and you got Gobert on your side instead of him blocking shots at the rim. Like, you could have tried to get somebody.
Yeah, but
They
then
didn't try.
after Gobert blocks the other team's shots and you play with Donovan Mitchell, after the game, we gotta stay in Utah tonight. So
The
that
Mormon
means-
country.
Right, where everything closes at like 9 o'clock. Of course, I'm exaggerating, ladies and gentlemen. But still, like, right, the whole city be closed and the game be the only thing open in Utah. Nah, that's hard for free agents, and all those dudes are young. Like, you gotta be a certain kind of dude to play in Utah to want to play there.
And you got to be white to be accepted.
Grayson
Not
Allen.
center. That's why we're explicit show. So
PHHP,
Yeah, so-
ladies and gentlemen, we don't care.
we don't care. We're explicit. What do you think about the East?
About it.
Mm,
What about it? It looks like the East like every other year, because the Cleveland's at the bottom for one.
Hey, Orlando Magic is the 8th seed as we speak.
Come on, man. They're 11 and 12. The East is your bottom two in the 7 and 8 spot are below 500. That's like every year in the East.
But I pointed out to Daniel that even though I don't think Orlando is going to do anything, because it's Orlando, they beat some good teams this year. They beat, like, the Lakers, they beat the Spurs, didn't they beat Golden State, too?
No, they
They
lost.
Oh, okay, I think they beat the Celtics.
It was close. It was close, though.
Let me ask y'all this question, because Hornets and Magic got the same record. So who would you say if either team benefited from Steve Clifford moving on?
Based
Gotta
on
say
that,
Magic.
It would say Orlando, yeah.
Yeah, it's got to say Magic.
But I never understood why they got rid of him. Like, wasn't he was missing half of the season, right? Because he had, like, personal problems or something?
I think Sean mentioned in one of the previous podcasts he didn't want to play some young guys, especially Monk. So I don't know if that's the specific reason, though.
But he was like, they were improving with him every year until last year, and it was like he wasn't there. The coach wasn't there.
He got sick or something. Yeah, maybe they got over each other. They were like, "Hey, it's time to move on."
It was because they finally hit that wall. I want to say the past few years they were like on the cusp of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Not in 1 year, right? And then last year, like the bottom just fell out.
Yeah, they couldn't get it. They couldn't get it into the playoffs, and that was their goals.
Because how many years was he there? Because they made the playoffs in 2015. They was 48 and 34. The next year they were 36 and 46, and last year they were 36 and 46.
The first year they were in the playoffs, as I remember.
I'm saying his first year.
Yeah.
So that was the 15-16 season?
Yeah, they won 48 games, and after that, they plateaued like 36 the past 2 years. Because that was the year they won 7 with the Heat.
Yeah.
The first year after LeBron.
So he was twice in the playoffs. So his best season was 15-16, 48 wins.
They made it to the playoffs twice. Who did they play in the second time?
Let me check. The second time or the first time?
The first time he said it was the Heat, right?
No, first time they got swept by Heat.
The Heat. Both times were the Heat.
Oh, both
Both
times were the Heat. Okay.
And the second time it was a game, 7 game. Yeah, like Sean said. Yeah. So yeah, they hit the wall, and it was injury problems, and they depended on Kemba a lot. Like they never got that second dude on their team. So
yeah, Daniel's boy couldn't do it.
What I wanted to ask, do y'all look at
You're not gonna
Toronto?
tell the people who your boy is?
I know, not this time.
Who's your boy, then?
We're talking about Charlotte?
Yeah, Batum, that's your boy.
Nick from Portland, yeah, overpaid. One more worst contract in the league. Do you have believers in like Toronto, and Toronto will be like different in the playoffs this season than the previous one?
I've watched them play a few times, and my answer so far is no.
Sean?
Yeah, it'll be different because LeBron's not there.
So you give them a chance against the Celtics?
I give them a chance to make out the first round, possibly the second. I still don't got them going to the finals, but they don't got to deal with LeBron, so that's going to be a sigh of relief.
No. I mean, they always choked, even against smaller teams. They struggled, so that in the playoffs.
They struggled, but they didn't, when LeBron was there, it was a sweep. Like, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
Kawhi is there. I mean, Kawhi can't do it all by himself. Like, we already know Lowry's going to hold, but having Kawhi is going to help because you got a legit guy who's going to give it to you on both sides of the floor. But they're still going to come up short.
Yeah, I think so too, because I don't see Kawhi being better score than DeMar. Just see him being a better defender, so I don't.
They got another player in being a good defender is Danny Green. So they got some balance.
That's true, but Danny Green is always gonna do some stupid shit too. So he gonna balance out his defense with the foul with 1 second on the shot clock. You know, he does shit like that.
And he's not gonna guard your best player.
And he gonna foul the man shooting a 3-point shot, and then he gonna try to walk over the pop and pop up, be like, "Shut the fuck up." You remember that? You remember that last year?
Yeah, that actually happened. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a dumb play.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no doubt about what he said, because a lot of times, I think if you read his lips, it said this. Nah, he said, "Shut the fuck up," because he made the stupidest plays.
I think it's even against Charlotte too.
He fouled. It was a dumb foul.
Yeah, he said no foul, and he fouled. Yeah, I remember. Sean, can you tell me a story about Patrick for throwing a ball at the fan, and your rant about what should NBA Adam do about it?
So a couple nights ago, I don't remember who they were facing, but in a game, it was against Dallas. There was a fan right under the hoop who said something to him. Allegedly, he said, "F your mother." And because of that, Beverly turned to him and threw a bounce pass to the guy. And because of that, he got kicked out the game. And the next day, the NBA fined him $25,000. And my thing was, we had the Durant issue earlier this year. We yelled at a fan that has an issue, also a Rondo and a fan. And my thing was, the athletes, to make a lot of money, but at the end of the day, they're human. You keep drawing back, he's just going to look at you, and you better hope that's all they do is look at you. And at some point, the commissioner got to step in and do something. My thing was, move the seats back, barricade them something, because you got to defend your guy. You can't keep punishing them for reacting to insults. They're going to hear it, and at some point, you're going to say, enough is enough. That's all I was saying. I couldn't be an NBA player, because at some point, you catch me on a bad day, I'm not feeling well, I got personal things going on, and I got people constantly yelling at me. One of these dudes is going to say the wrong thing, and I'm going to go up beside their head and choke them to death. So the fact that the commissioner steady is penalizing the players for being human and reacting and not doing anything to the fans, them possibly getting kicked out. I don't even know if that fan got kicked out, but still, I think the NBA needs to do something to help the players out instead of leaving them out to dry.
Yeah, he got ejected.
The fan?
Oh, you don't know?
He deserved it.
No, I don't. Oh, I thought you were talking about you didn't know if Beverly got ejected.
No,
the fan. I don't know if the fan got ejected.
Oh yeah, I don't know either.
These fans, man, I hate that.
So my solution is just to suspend the fan. You're suspended up till the end of the season. You can't go watch any NBA games. You are marked. So goodbye, sir.
Yeah, and what Beverly did was what he could have did. Dude was they need to do something, because somebody's gonna get hurt really bad, because
it's gonna be Palace and the Malice.
You can't talk right, and the dude was right there, under the back. Beverly could have ran over there, and dude couldn't have gotten away at all. He was that close to him, and he threw. He could, and it could have been worse. He could have just threw the ball at him, but he threw a bounce pass. That takes off a little bit. I think it could have been worse. If he would have just threw the ball at his face. Yeah, that's not good, man.
Because he's under.
Because they pay for the ticket, they can say and do anything, and like Sean said, those are people. They're human.
That's why I would ban him. That's why I would ban him
fuck
from
your mother. Really, dude? We're playing basketball. What does my mom have to do with this? Yeah, I think the fans go too far.
It's Texas, so it's Texas. It's racism all over it. Charlton Heston. So yeah, but I would say, like I said, I would suspend the fan. You can't come to the game, so fuck your mother. Say goodbye. That would be the note.
Question. I want to know if the fan got ejected, because they eject fans. It seems like more for football than basketball.
No, I don't think. Okay, of course you eject them, but I don't think that's enough. Barely has to pay $25,000 for it, and it's just ejection for saying that. No, that's not enough. You gotta. And of course, you can't punish him money-wise, but you can ban him.
You can't come back this season.
Yeah, you can't come back. So, like we said, fuck your mother and goodbye. No, of course, NBA won't say that, but I will say it, and Beverly should say.
It's not fair the NBA to expect every single player who plays to always make the right choice and do the right thing. That's not realistic.
Yeah, they expect role models, and Barkley.
Sean said, they're all people. They're human. So how you expect that to be 100%? No one's I'm just gonna turn my cheek and be the bigger person. No.
I mean, we're all individuals. We're all different.
Exactly.
Like I told Sean, I will probably not do it. I'll probably laugh to his face.
You know how
Like,
serious some people take mother jokes?
Yep, I know.
That will get you killed or something. And that's
Except if you're not in the White Man Can't Jump movie. A lot of mama jokes. Before we wrap it up, I have a last question. It's like we're in the first quarter of the season, and what is a signature thing that you have so far into the season that you can a player, a story, anything regarding to this weird season? I think I said weird like MGK on his song, weird.
Beard is weird.
Yeah, without beard. Yeah, like any specific thing as a signature to this first quarter of the season.
My eyes in my first quarter of season watching. The thing that stands out to me is the scoring is so high. Like dudes are having 65 and 70, 65 to 70 half. Yeah, the scoring is up a lot because of the 3-point shooting.
What has Greg Popovich said about the 3-point shooting?
People aren't playing basketball anymore. He said they're shooting threes and what did he say? And dunking.
Yeah, he hates it. Yeah. Although his players shot the ball against the Heat, remember? A 3. So
yeah, they're last. Spurs are last in the league in 3-point attempts, but they're first in the league in 2-point attempts mid-range.
That's their game. DeMar mid-range, DeRozan came in.
Yeah, and Popovich's thing is he doesn't have a problem with you shooting it if you can shoot it, if you should be shooting it. Dudes are just shooting threes. We've talked about this. Dudes are just shooting threes that shouldn't be shooting.
Like Andre Drummond.
Yeah, like Andre Drummond. I saw a dude for Portland today.
Nurkic?
Aminu?
Yeah, but Aminu was shooting even before. So he wasn't kidding, though.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be shooting, never.
Yeah. Sean, what is your signature thing from this first quarter?
I'm sorry. I have two things. One is what Phraze said, the scoring. I mean, everybody in the league averages more than 100. We've got at least 15 teams that average more than 110 a game. I mean, that's just insane. My other takeaway is probably for the first time since maybe 04, 05, LeBron has had virtually no impact on the NBA landscape.
Mm-hmm.
He's there. He's playing a lot of minutes. It's just cares. He has zero impact. He has zero impact on how the West is shaping. He has zero impact. Well, you can argue he has an impact on how the East is shaping out. But even if he was there, I mean, you still would have Kawhi. You still would have the Bucks doing what they're doing. You still would have Philly there with Boston lurking in the background. So I think that's a pretty big shocker because, I mean, I think most people, honestly, if you got them alone, told them to tell the truth, they would say, Lakers are not going to do much this year. But you still would have thought he would have had an impact on the West in terms of affecting how certain teams are controlling the roster, how certain teams, when they play against the Lakers, are probably starting guys more minutes or whatnot. But I still had that thing of the Lakers are still just another team on the schedule. Just my opinion.
Yeah, it looks like it. He needs that second star. Why?
Because the Lakers sucked last year. What was their
no,
20 games right now? What was their record? It wasn't what it was. Even though they're not, they probably would.
No, Sean, you didn't. I don't think you understood, Sean, what he was trying to say. Maybe he changed he got Lakers better. But Sean was saying from the landscape of the league, he's not dominating any conferences. He's not dominating the West right now, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I assumed that was.
Yeah, because he's
what
not
winning.
Saying. You're not number one. You're not dominating. Is that what you meant?
I just meant they're not having an impact. He's not exactly having an impact on the West as a whole.
Yeah.
When you think about the West, and here's the teams we need to worry about. Here's the teams that are contending or competing. Here's the teams you check for every single night. I feel like they're not one of those teams in the West. I feel like they've improved. But I still think when you talk about the West, it's still Golden State. It's OKC. If you want, you can throw the Clippers and Nuggets in there. Personally, I still have the Pelicans in there. And even the Rockets. Some people still think the Rockets won't climb out that hole. But when you talk about the Lakers, you think about them in that maybe Portland, tier. They'll be around, but we don't really take them seriously as an actual threat.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was my thought too. He's gonna be ended up as a 5th seed, and it's not gonna be he'll have way more minutes too. And Father Time is coming too, but for him.
But at this point last year, they had the opposite record. So right now they're 15-8, 15-9.
Yeah, 14.
At this point, they were 14.
Oh, you looked it up?
Yeah.
They're in the seed, so and if I'm them, I'll try to. I'm going to get Bill somehow. Try to get Bill, and you get better automatically. Yeah. So, anything to add before we wrap it up?
I got two things. One, I didn't know Milwaukee's first in the league in points per game, first in the league in rebounds per game, and second in the league in assist game. That's pretty dominant. And so ESPN, unless they anger me, they did a story on asked the whole panel which team is draft for next season. In first place, it was Golden State. In second place, it was the Knicks. I can't stand ESPN. That's all I got.
Phrase?
Is anybody surprised by the Detroit Pistons start? They're number 4 in the East.
No, I think I said it on our preview show that of the first show that I think they're gonna get to the playoffs, and that Dwayne Casey has something to prove, and Blake Griffin, he was in a training camp with them. He's healthy and he's still a very good player. He's in his prime. They just need a point guard because Reggie Jackson ain't gonna cut it. Like Conley Jr. type point guard.
Gave
so they
up
can
on
be
Reggie Jackson there?
like 2 years ago, yeah.
Because there's a video injuries. Because that was your boy. Damn, you didn't tell me
Yeah,
that you gave up on Reggie Jackson.
He betrayed Oklahoma, so I had to give up on him too.
I didn't betray. He got shipped out.
He got shipped out, and he mocked it, and he was celebrating after every win against OKC, like rubbing it in your face. So, and the stories that came out about Reggie were crazy, and he thought he should have started over Westbrook and stuff like that. He was getting mad because he was a bench. He was playing behind Westbrook and stuff like, and they were looking at him like, dude. And I mean, I just noticed, like, I was like, hey, let's see what you can do in Detroit, and he's not that good. Like, he's not that good. He likes to dribble the ball a lot. Like, although he improved on that part.
Yeah, but he's been injured, and you have a tendency
when he wasn't injured. When he wasn't injured,
tendency to always judge players that are injured or when they come back from injury. He's been injured a lot since then.
Let's say this season he played.
Yeah, he played last night against Golden State. They beat Golden State, and he had 17 points, 6 out of 12 shooting, and 5 assists and 2 rebounds in 5 minutes. So he's not good.
He's averaged 4 assists per game this season. He's shooting 39% from the field. No, I'm not mad. I'm just saying he's not good enough. Like, if you want to compete on the East, I would take John Wall. I'll say, hey, although John Wall is the C at least.
I think anybody would take John Wall.
Yeah, I'd take John Wall too.
But I'm not sure because the length of the contract. But if you're Detroit, you got to take him. Like, just offer some white dude and Reggie, and that's gonna be it. They got 2 white dudes.
Some white dude. Pachulia, Daniel? They got Cole too.
And Kennard, yeah.
That's why Stan got fired. He drafted Luke Kennard, and right after him, the first pick Luke Kennard was Donovan Mitchell.
Yep.
Now that's why you're never gonna get another job in the NBA, Stan.
Where's the dude?
Nah, Stanville. Hoiberg won't.
Where's the dude that was playing for OKC that went to? We could end the show. This is just a question.
We're ending the show. Goodbye. Peace.
Check us out.
Check us out. Check out at Duke.